Hi Pisces, welcome back to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth and I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader. This, Pisces, is your intuitive reading for the time between the 19th and the 25th of June. I'm going to draw some cards relating to love, some relating to career and finances, and 2 cards for your key energies for this week. I've already shuffled and meditated. I'll do a little bit more of that on camera and then we shall get started. And feel free to give this video a thumbs up. That's how you support me and all the other YouTubers out there. Okay, let's get started. Okay, my lovely. So the card on the base of your reading is the Four of Swords. The card at the base of the reading is the perspective that we need to see this week through, or this reading through. Okay, and for you guys, that's the Four of Swords. Now the Four of Swords, for shorthand, we call it the meditation card. Okay, it's about self-reflection, really. It's about recognizing, understanding, investigating, engaging with your mental structures and foundations. Okay, number 4s are all related to our foundations. That's because in astrology the 4th house is related to our roots, where we come from, and the sword energy is about our thoughts, our minds, our clarity, our consciousness, how we communicate with other people. Okay, and also our awareness. Okay, what we allow ourselves to accept, to think, to know, to believe, to understand. Okay, so this is why we call this card the meditation card. So you guys this week, it's as if you are having that space, that time. You may be in meditation, you may have some time out away from people where you can actually do that physically. But it seems as though this week, as it's on the base of the reading, it's really about trying to recognize that this week you will be investigating and engaging with your mental structures, what you think of yourself, how you think of yourself, how you talk to yourself in your mind, the types of things that you say, for example. So it's that type of energy that we should really see this reading through. Okay, so let's have a look at your key energies this week. Okay, we'll look at this one first. We'll look at this one right at the end of the reading. We've got love here, and then we've got everything else here: career, finances, or whatever or whatever else you're thinking of or is concerning you, or we can relate it back to love. So the first key energy for this week is the 7 of Cups. Now the key energies are the things that you'll be feeling. Ki, as in the name of my channel, means energy. Okay, as in life force, as in the same things that we talk about when we talk about the Wands energy. Okay, so that energy that you'll be feeling and experiencing this week is partly one of confusion. Now it makes perfect sense linked to this card at the bottom. So 7s are all about similarly about our foundations. They're about endurance, they're about our authenticity. So it's about enduring a state of mind, a state of being, an emotional state, in order that emotional state, or that confusion, for example, in this instance, brings us into awareness about who we really are and about how, in this case, you truly feel. The Cups energy is about our emotions. Okay, about our inner emotional perspective and our inner emotional experiences. So there is confusion there, and obviously that it makes sense that there's confusion. That's an oxymoron if ever I said it, but it kind of makes sense that there's confusion in the sense that, as I said from the beginning, this week is about you trying to engage with the thought processes, how you think, what you think, how you think, why you think it, with this energy of the 4 of Swords. So there's obviously not necessarily a disconnect with your emotions, but we have to spend time in our emotional world. I've actually written an article about this. Actually, I wrote it on Sunday night, Monday morning. I haven't posted it yet. For those of you that follow me on Key Wisdom on Instagram and Facebook, you'll be able to read that article probably tomorrow when I post it, and I might do a little video to accompany it as well. But I talk in that article about this, about how do we discern our emotions, how do we describe them, how do we identify them, how do we talk about them, how do we learn that vocabulary. And for you guys this week, it's as if you're on that journey. You're trying to or you feel, I should say, you feel that there is something that you're not understanding about part of your emotional experience, and it's something that you're trying to shed light on this week. People talk about this card about having lots of different options. Again, it's because of our authenticity. This card, all number 7s are, as I said, experiences that we must endure, challenges that we must endure, in order for that challenge in itself to reveal something to us. So we can talk about it as being choices between things, but in this instance, as I said, because it's your key energy, what you're going to be experiencing, what you're going to be feeling, definitely coincides with the 4 of Swords as well. Okay, so we'll look at love next. We've got the Judgment card, and we'll look at this one at the end, and we've got the Death card. Okay, so quite intense energies to feel. The lovely thing about both these cards, though, it is about they go quite well together, because the lovely thing about these cards is it's about seeing something being revealed that we didn't see before, that we didn't know before, that we may have been carrying around with us, but we just never realized we were carrying it around with us. We never saw it, we never recognized it. And so with Judgment energy, it's an experience that happens in your life, in your love life, or in your inner world, you know, how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem, etc. It's a situation or circumstance that arises that helps to reveal things to us, that helps us to see something finally, okay? That helps us to know something finally. And that could be because other people come and tell you something, but I feel more like it's because you are not necessarily introspective this week, but you are feeling and thinking, and you're trying to interpret your feelings. You're trying to describe them to yourself. You're trying to articulate your feelings to yourself this week. And that in itself could be the judgment. That in itself could be the experience that sort of reveals something, you know, that clears up the clouds and the confusion. That in itself. But it could be something else. It could be something else that happens externally. As I said, this card could indicate having time off work, you know, going on holiday, having a break as well. This card could indicate. So it could be that your holiday, you're on a break, and it's that having that time, that space that helps you to start to articulate these things. It could be a conversation that you have with your loved one, with a partner, if you're in a relationship, or just a conversation with friends about how you feel about yourself and your love situation, etc. I won't go into examples, but they are the energies, okay? So then we've got the Death card here, and I'm starting to really love this card, because, you know, it is really about, people think about they see the Death card and they think about something ending and the end of something, but it's in life, in the universe. You tell me one thing that's ever died. Nothing dies. It's only transformed. So I can guarantee you can sit there right now and you can think for as long as you want, for right, for the whole video. Okay, let me think of one thing that's dead. I mean, you could say the dinosaurs, but even they've evolved, okay? So the dinosaurs aren't dead. So anyway, basically what I'm saying is this card is about the transformation, okay? Because this card is number 13. Number 1 is a new beginning, the initiation of a new start, okay? That's divinely guided and divinely held and divinely led. And the number 3 is about expansion, truth, authenticity. It's about recognizing, with the number 1 and the number 3, that there's things that need to be changed. Number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's things that it's about recognizing that there's something needs to shift, something needs to be different, something needs to be transformed. And it could be in your relationship, and it could be that because you've spent some time this week thinking or trying to articulate your feelings for yourself, trying to identify your feelings for yourself, that gives you the clarity almost, where you can have a conversation with your loved one, or you can have a conversation with your friends, or whatever it is for you, where you can finally start to recognize that change is necessary. Similar theme actually from last week. There was you felt differently last week. You felt like you'd overcome something last week, and this week there might be some confusion. I only say that because of the 7, but it's really about the fact that you still need to articulate your feelings and to be able to describe them for yourself before you could explain them to somebody else, and that's something that needs to be recognized. That it's not that just because you now feel better and all right and things have moved on and things have changed, you still need to be able to understand the process that's been going on for you, okay, Pisces? Whether you're single or in a relationship, that's something that needs to be happening. So that is a really positive thing. It shows that we're making progress from the energies that we had last week for you guys, okay, in last week's reading. So let's look at everything else now. So career, finances, family, relationships, whatever else we want to apply it to. And we've got the World card. Excellent. Okay, so good. And we've got the Ace of, oh, this is like poetic, isn't it? This is like poetry. So we, as I said, we needed that. We needed this to come through, because you have to have those moments, those opportunities to think, to reflect, to articulate, to describe, to interpret for yourself. Okay. What did that do to me? What's this previous 4 months done for me, or to my relationship, or to my self-esteem, or whatever? And it's that type of conversation that you're having with yourself and potentially with others this week, with your loved ones this week, with your partner this week. But what that gives you, we see, is the new start, is the new beginning, is the new world. You know, this we can describe this, link it to anything you want in your life, but this energy indicates a brand new beginning. It indicates the opportunity for a new beginning. It indicates that right now, these conversations that you're having with yourself, this understanding that you're growing in, and the conversation you're having with other people potentially, is actually helping you to transform, is actually giving you the opportunity to start in a new place, in a new with a new way of thinking about yourself, with a new way of thinking about your experiences, with a new way of thinking about your relationships, or about your work, or about what's happened to you over the past how many months, okay? And again, with that, we've got the number 1. So we've got the very end of the major arcana, and then we've got an ace. We've got the Ace of Swords. So we've got this clear thinking and speaking. We've got clear thoughts. We've got clarity that actually comes through now, don't we, at the end, in these cards here. So even if the emotions are confused, by spending that time, I know I'm repeating myself, spending that time trying to articulate and engage with them and to describe them, that is what helps you to have this new beginning. That is what helps you to speak more articulately about your feelings, about what you've experienced, to your partner, to your bosses, to your friends, to your family, okay? So there's a real and there's also this thing of cutting things out. So again, last week you feel like you'd made progress, you were feeling like, I've come a certain way. If you don't remember that reading, go back and watch it. I've come so far, I feel better, I feel like I've finally got over something. Now this week you're reflecting on what it was, how that time period has affected you, has impacted your life, your emotional state, your well-being, etc. And then we have this way of this clarity that then comes through. And not only does a clarity come through for you, and that you're able to communicate clearly with the Ace of Swords, you're also able to think clearly. You're also able to be discerning. You're also able to get rid of or if you will, cut out the confusion now, because you've worked through that. So it's a really positive week for you of growth and of evolution. Again, in your emotional conditions and conditioning, but also in your mental conditioning, and in a practical sense, out there, so people can see the difference, and these major arcana energies here, just really further support that it's quite a big week for you in that respect. So let's have a look at your final key energy for the week, and we've got the Strength card. Our fourth major arcana, and there's not many cards here, as you can see. So we are number 8 is a card related to the sign of Leo. So it's a card of so it's linked to the fire element, the planet of Mars. So it's about action, about what we do out in the world, but it's about our experiences. Is the Strength card. We have to have experiences that show us our strength and show us our courage, and we've got to display our strength, and so it could indicate that. But always for me, really the Strength card is about the karmic cycles that we go through, the things that we go through, the karma that we go through, that teaches us our strength. So it might be that if you struggle today, it's Wednesday today, so you might struggle today and you might feel sort of like, you might be feeling at this energy, like, I'm confused, I don't understand. Yeah, I feel better now, but wow, I don't really get how we got to that point, or how I got to that point, or why I started thinking of myself in that way, or why I started feeling that way about myself. I don't understand it. And so that could sort of leave you in a little bit of a lull. But actually, what you realise by, as I said, engage with those feelings, recognise that those feelings are there, recognise that those feelings exist, that confusion exists, or whatever it is specifically for you that you're confused about or worried about, and just recognise that they are there, and recognise that, you are now in a different place, because it's those experiences, it's those questions, it's that sort of lull, that confusion, that actually teaches you and shows you for real, for evidence, oh my gosh, yeah, actually, I have changed, or I have grown, or I have healed, or things are different now. So the confusion and questioning that confusion and engaging with it is actually what shows you the strength that you've gained through this period, or through the past, or because of the difficulties of the last however many weeks or months or whatever it has been for you. So there's a huge amount of growth, a huge amount of change for you this week. But again, it's that process of you've got to engage with it, and I think you will, and I feel that you will. I'm just doing your thumbnail actually. I think you will, and I feel that you will. I feel that there's a huge amount here of energy here when it comes to. In fact, we'll do this one. There's a huge amount of energy here that just kind of like is like unfinished business, if that makes sense. It's kind of like you just have to acknowledge it to yourself, for yourself, that that I've just been through that last how many months, and it was hard, but I made it. Do you know what I mean? It's like that type of thing. It's that type of energy, this week for you. You just have to acknowledge it. You just have to say to yourself, yeah, okay, that was hard, but now it is over, and you can see that it's over, and but you have to do that bit first, where you go, wow, that was hard, and that's this. That's this energy of that, but of the wow, that was hard, and how was that? How did that affect me? How am I? How's my life changed? How difficult have things been? Whatever. But do that, because doing that is what gives you this. 7 to 8. 7 plus 1 equals 8. We can see that it's all here for you. It's all laid out in front of you to actually gain the strength and see the strength that you've actually gained because of what you've been through, and know that you're literally walking out of the confusion, toward a new beginning, and toward the clarity and the understanding that you so desperately have needed and wanted for such a long time. Okay, so my darlings, I hope you liked that reading. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. For people who don't know, as I said, you can follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram and on Facebook at Key Wisdom Tarot, very simple. And for extra little snippets, keep an eye out for some extra videos that I am going to be posting, even though I keep saying that and I just haven't done it yet. Please leave me your comments as well, and I will read them, as I always do, and I'll respond if necessary. And yeah, feel free to share this video on your social media, your WhatsApp and your Facebook, if you think it will help anybody in your life. Thank you so much for being here, my wonderful Pisces. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all again next Wednesday with your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye.